Those reactions weren't exaggerated. What these Europeans experienced in America completely changed the way they viewed the country, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why so many of them finally discovered where American confidence really comes from. But here's the part most people never hear about. It isn't just about money, technology, or famous cities. It's about the everyday experiences that show visitors a completely different side of America, one they never expected to see. If you enjoy discovering surprising truths through real experiences and honest reactions, make sure to subscribe, because every video reveals a new perspective that challenges what people think they know. Now, let's get into it.
One big thing that I really like about America as a Brit is people have got such good manners. So in the UK, and especially in Europe, you find people are starting to lose their manners. Now in America, everybody I see, most people are really polite, they're really kind and genuinely interested in what you're actually doing and, want to know your name. Even when you go into somewhere you go in the liquor store to buy some liquor. Hi sir, how are you today? And they actually genuinely want to have a conversation with you. They're genuinely polite, Whereas in the UK, it's like, and they even pack your bags in the Walmart, or in any grocery store. It's amazing. You just don't get that in the UK. Well, you don't get it anymore. Let me know what you think about this, because personally, I think it's really easy to just be nice and kind to people. And I just don't think the UK, we have that anymore. Certainly not in my opinion.
So I literally just complimented someone's bunny ears on the street and they gave them to me. That's how nice people are in America. It's so cute. I'm heading off to the beach and my boyfriend's made me a picnic. How nice is that? It's just such a good day in America, always. The best life here.
One thing I absolutely love about American men, and no, it is not the fact that they call me ma'am, although that does make my heart palpitate through my chest, is the confidence that American men have. I don't know what it is, but the confidence of an American man is just a different level. The amount of men who just slide into my DMs, who are in the comment section saying, I will give you a green card if you literally just come to Vegas. They always have so much confidence. They're like, hell yeah, my southern lady, I'll be willing to take you down south. You don't know me, but yet they will still have that confidence. They will still have that, get in my truck, miss ma'am. Well, shoot me down, sir, and I might. But I love a man with a bit of confidence, and one thing about American men is they sure know what they want. They sure do. They sure do. I don't know why everyone in my comment section has a southern accent to me, but that's exactly how y'all sound. But I just want to say I love that American men have so much confidence. I don't know what it is, but they got it like that. They got it like that.
I'm like so excited. Ooh, aesthetic. It's so big. It's huge. How far back does this go?
It goes so far. There's a Starbucks inside of it. Yeah. Nobles.
Already so overstimulated. Oh, it's huge. What is in here?
What's not in here, honestly?
Exactly.
Anything you'd ever need, it's here at Walmart.
Like a ramen.
I was just watching a post of a fellow Brit living in America, and he was talking about how he's noticed the difference in children and how they are typically more confident in America than they are in England. And it made me think, because I think literally every single other Brit I follow on here who lives in America, one thing that all of them will say is that people in general, not just kids, but adults, kids, but people in general are more confident here than they are in England. From a young age in England, we can typically be told to not show off, don't brag, be humble, don't toot your own horn. It can be seen as arrogant to talk about your achievements, or if you have a pay raise or an idea that you have that may go against the grain. Whereas in America, I think it's celebrated to talk about yourself in such a positive light. If you have an achievement, a stranger would celebrate with you. When you have positive motivation, this can help you with your confidence. This just isn't something that we're used to in England. I won't lie, when I first moved to America and people were this way with me, I kind of saw it as fake or not being genuine, but it really isn't. American people just love celebrating other people's wins and bigging each other up. I'm not saying this doesn't happen at all in England, but culturally speaking, it just isn't something that is common. Literally every single British person living in America, obviously and on TikTok, one thing they will all say is they've become a much more confident person since moving to America, and I honestly love that for us. So yeah, this is one of the many reasons many of us British people love living here.
Hot take, Europeans are actually being lied to. We have been told our whole lives that American friendliness is fake or shallow. But I've been living in the Midwest for more than a decade and I realized we're just wrong. European me used to see a stranger's smile as a literal threat. I'm not kidding. Back in Czech, if you're nice, people assume you want a vote from them or something, anything. We call our attitude that we're just being real, but now I'm realizing it's exhausting to be mad your whole life. I'm at the checkout line and these two women behind me, talking about business they've just lost. Back in Czech, everyone would tell you, we've told you so. It would be a family tragedy and people would never try again. But here, one of them, she just shrugs it off and didn't work, I appreciate a lesson, I'll come up with something else. Then they just switch topics and they talk about their kids. So I'm standing there like, wait, we're not gonna spend the rest of your year being depressed. Okay. Some Americans are always apologizing for being too much. But from the outside, it is not too much. It's actually just freedom. I'm realizing that moving on isn't shallow, it is just like refusing to stay down. You guys literally hacked the system. I wasn't born to be this optimistic, but I'm obsessed with this. I'm loving this, and I blame Ohio for this.
One of the things I really love about Americans is how confident they are, and it seems to be something that's ingrained in Americans from a really young age. So when we moved to America last year, me and my husband and the 3 children were all quite reserved. We're quite quiet people. We're shy, we're introverted, apart from being around each other. But since coming over here and being around people that are just so confident, it's really obvious how different we've been raised to just be quiet, don't show off, don't be too loud. Don't talk about yourself, be wary approaching people. But I've really noticed a change in my 3 children. So they are attending a school and they have lessons in being confident and presenting. So even she's now 5, but even my 4-year-old, when she started transitional kindergarten, they had her on a weekly basis like presenting to the class, saying, hi, this is my name, this is what I'm going to talk about, and they get graded on how loud they speak, how clearly they speak, what they can improve on. And I guess it's kind of like show and tell that we had in the UK, but that kind of fizzled out, and I remember it being optional as well. This is being in an American school, they really are expected to do this. And it's also when you go to like children's playgrounds and parks, a lot of the children will come up to my children and be like, hey, my name's so and so, would you like to play with me? And my kids at first were a bit like, oh, and really nervous and shy and didn't know what to say. But now they're like, yeah, my name is so and so and let's play. But when we first moved out here, it was really weird, and now that's not the case. And I've really noticed that my 3 children are becoming more confident, and it's great to see them coming out of their shell. I don't think it's going to be something me and my husband will change, because we've had 40 years of being told and learning not to be confident, being reserved and quite quiet. And yeah, but I do like it. I think it's really good. I think it's great that the children are learning to be confident and to go up to other people and say, this is my name, this is what I do, to take up space and just be confident. I really like it.
Can we just talk about American children for a second? And before the mama bears come for me, hear me out. So I've been living in the US for about 5 months now, and honestly, the difference between children is actually crazy. For example, the children are just more confident here, much more social, much more outgoing. For example, we was in Central Park yesterday. The little girl came up to us with our dog. She said, "Can I bring a dog?" We was like, "Sure." Then she was talking to us about the UK, about what dog she has, what dog Richmond has. And I was like, "Are you 12 or 30? Because I'm confused." Another example, we was in Hoboken, which is our home city, and this girl was selling her lemonade, and typical Brit, we said no because we don't know how to talk to strangers, and she's like, "You have a blessed day." And I know every child is completely unique and completely different, but you can definitely see American children are much more confident to speak to strangers, and I think it's cute. What do you guys think?
Americans do things with a level of confidence that Brits reserve for absolutely nothing. Restaurants, I feel like this is done more in the US. If things aren't up to scratch, you best believe that Americans will be sending that food back. And you know what? I'm with them. I am so with them. It costs so much money to go out and eat nowadays that why should we expect anything less than what we've asked for? So if they get the order wrong, if the steak isn't cooked to the right temperature, are calm about it, they're respectful about it, but they will just say, "Look, I'm not happy with the food, can you send it back?" And the customer service here is just like, absolutely, what can I do to help? How can I correct the situation? And I now have got into the habit of doing that if I'm not happy with something. Whereas back home, I think we received the wrong meal, we eat half of it, we apologise to the waiter for being confusing that we ate half, or we probably lie and say, when the waiter comes over and says like, oh, how was it? I hope you enjoyed everything. You'll probably be like, yeah, it was lovely. I'm just so full, you know. Or at the end of the meal, when you're done, you'll probably be like, "Sorry, but I think I did order the salmon, but I did receive the chicken. I just wanted to let you know." Coffee orders. It'll be like, "Can I have a quad oat half sweet extra with cold foam on top with a sprinkle of cinnamon? Can you make sure that it's not too cold but not too hot?" Like, I have seen it all. Like, I've been with some of my friends and like the way they're ordering, I'm like, it's a whole operation. I now do this, so I'm not judging. UK, it's very much like you'd only order what you can see on the menu. I'm sorry, I know it's not in the menu, but like, do you have tea? Like coffee, they'll just be like, "Can I have an Americano with cold milk?" Complimenting strangers. "Love your outfit, I love your hair," like so many compliments. "Oh, I love your accent." In the UK, people will probably have the exact same thought as that. They'll never say it. They'll love someone's coat and they won't ever say it. And then 14 years later, they'll talk about this coat that this person wore and how much they loved it. It's like, where's this come from? Why didn't you tell me at the time?
This concept is so hard to explain to Americans. Americans that grew up in the US do not understand what is so special about how Americans think. So I grew up in Japan and I lived very briefly in Argentina for a while, and I've traveled around a couple different places. There is nothing that beats American confidence. Why is it good? Why is it bad? I'll start with the bad just to get it out of the way. But the bad things are that, countries outside the US are going to think that Americans are stuck up, and that's kind of the stereotype that Americans already have. And there are such things as like personal limitations. Like, I go to the gym, but I'm never going to be Arnold, right? Like, I'm just not built like him. I don't have his genetics. It's just not going to work out if I want to be like him. But what's good about American confidence? Let me tell you. Whenever you talk about doing something to better your life in the US versus in other countries, people are overwhelmingly supportive and positive, and they believe that you actually have a chance of being able to do that. You tell someone in the US, "Hey, I'm trying to start a new business," they'll support you, maybe even financially. If you start like a brand or something, they'll start buying your stuff online. They'll be like the first ones, like, "Oh, look, I'm the first investor in your guys' company." That sort of attitude. Most places, you don't get that level of enthusiasm and like wanting to participate and like believing that things can happen. That's a very uniquely American thing. And confidence is one of the most important aspects of risk-taking behavior. And things like starting a business or investing in something that's kind of high risk, high reward, like venture capital, that's a very American mentality. It's an American mindset. Not to mention, in general, wouldn't you rather be around people that are like optimistic and enthusiastic than people that are like depressed and try to tell you like, no, you can't do that thing? Fuck all of that. Nah, this is another reason why fucking America #1. Grew up in Japan, but I'm staying here. I fucking love it here. Follow me for more.
So I've seen a lot of videos of Europeans, especially a lot of people from the UK who are in America watching the World Cup, and their videos are basically saying how they underestimated how much they would like America. Well, I lived there for over 10 years. I did 3 years in San Francisco and around 7 years in Houston, Texas. And I can tell you exactly what it is. It's not the food. It's not the amazing locations. I mean, these are all great. But I promise you, it is the people. They are just on another level of happiness. And for example, in the UK, if you're walking down the road and you don't know someone and they're going to walk past you, their head will be down. They won't say good morning. They won't say hello. But I promise you, in America, it's completely different. They will say, hey, how's your morning? And you'll have a quick chat with them and their vibe will be insane. One of the most common things that I've said about American people is that they seem to just be happier to be alive. I don't know if it's just me, but every time I meet an American, they just seem happier than everybody else to be alive.
Okay, so I was just walking in the store and the lady came to me. She says, hey. I'm like, what? You know, like, what's going on? My Eastern European face, what? And she was like, I love your dress. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the United States. Women give each other compliments here. It's so funny. I love that.
Why are Americans so overconfident? This is what every European thinks. Let's talk. Europeans think Americans are overconfident, but confidence is literally a social tool. Number one, confidence creates opportunities. In America, speaking confidently opens many doors. So hesitation can be misread as incompetence. Number two, confidence is performative. People are expected to sell ideas and not wait to be discovered. That's the American dream, right? That's why belief is communicated outward. Number three, in Europe, restraint signals intelligence. Speaking cautiously usually shows thoughtfulness. So overconfidence can feel immature or arrogant. Number four, risk tolerance is completely different. Americans accept failure as a part of the growth journey, but Europeans often minimize risk to protect their security. So when Americans sound certain, they're not claiming superiority. They're just following a system that rewards their belief. And when Europeans sound cautious, they're not insecure. It's not about that at all. Europeans are just trying to be responsible. So different systems, different cultures, different countries reward completely different traits. And once you know that, confidence stops sounding loud and too much and over the top, and caution stops sounding weak. If you want to hear more videos like this, follow my page for more.
One thing Americans have compared to the UK that's completely underrated, they're truly not embarrassed to be themselves. And that confidence is so contagious.
Why are Americans so comfortable reinventing themselves?
In the UK, people tend to stay in their lane a little bit, so they're quite risk averse and they don't really like too much change.
In the US, people seem less afraid of geographical reinvention. It's very normal for people at any age group to move around the country, whether it be for school, whether it be for jobs, multiple times for jobs as well. Moving around the country for the best job opportunities, and also in retirement.
Yeah, people
Very
just
common.
move. But what I guess I want to know is, like, why is it so normal? Like, who teaches you that, just go and live like a 20-hour drive away? That's so normal.
Career reinvention is very normalized. So again, like I said, hopping to different states, but also the actual career itself. Obviously watch things like Shark Tank, and that will show you that someone used to be a doctor and they now own a surf brand. I don't know. But we've genuinely met people whilst living here that have previously been a completely different career and have changed it.
Taught to be entrepreneurial at school. Like, it's just like, hey, go out there and do whatever you want.
Because in the UK, we're very much like, stay realistic. You can stay in your job for 20 plus years in the same job, have your steady income, raise your kids.
Is this just optimism, or is it like risk tolerance? Like, just willing to just go out there and take a risk?
Like, they'll just be like, oh, and we'll figure it out along the way. Such a big deal for people to do these things in the UK. I don't think you realise. The ambition that ties with that, I feel like they're all intertwined. The Americans that just seem less embarrassed to be ambitious.
I actually think this is one of the best things in American culture.
Let's talk about how actually living in the US raised my self-esteem as an European. So I'm an Italian girl. I was born and raised in Milan. That's why I was like, I'm sorry if I say some words in English wrong, but you know, English is not my first language. Anyway, one of the first things that happens to me when I arrived here in the US, I was in Walmart and this woman approached me and just gave me a straight compliment. She just said to me like, "Oh, I love your hair and I love your skirt. Where'd you get it?" And I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." Like, I really didn't expect that because this is something that in my country would never happen. There is no way, like, man that approach you and tells you, "Oh, you look nice," or "You look hot." Yeah, that happened all the time. But I mean, we know why, okay? The fact that a girl stops you and tells you, "Oh, you look gorgeous. You look very nice. I love your skirt. I love your dress." This never happened, okay? Never. It never happened to me. I asked my boyfriend, I was like, "Is this normal?" And he said to me, like, "Yes, that's pretty normal. That's happened all the time. Like, if we like something, we just stop and tell that person that we like her shoes or his shirt, whatever." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is actually like so nice." And this is something that boosts my confidence so much. Same things about my body confidence, okay? In Italy, a lot of people saying that we have a very body shaming mentality, and as an Italian, that's true. You need to be very skinny, okay, for being considered good looking, okay? Because my body is considered like fat in Italy, okay? Instead here, everyone like loves my body. All these things make me feel like so good. And this is something that I wish in my country will be implemented, but I think it never will. I recognize that by myself. Like, I will never stop a girl and say, "Oh, I love your dress," or "I love your hair." I will look at her and I will think that I like it, but I will never tell her. Probably this is because we've been raised to have a lot of competition with other girls. I saw many American women on this app that are currently in Italy complaining about this. And unfortunately, this is true. And one of the things that I love the most of being here is this, the fact that actually I can see girls supporting other girl. This is just something that I really love about this country.
One thing Americans do insanely well and Europeans underestimate it. In the US, talking to strangers is normal. Small talk is part of the culture. People celebrate dreams, hype each other up and say, "You got this," even if they hardly know you. That doesn't mean life is perfect here, but the default mindset is try, fail, try again. Someone will cheer for you. Where do you feel more encouraged, US or Europe?
Why is it that African Americans seem to have more self-belief and confidence than Black British people? This is a question I've really been thinking about. And it's quite hard for me to answer because I haven't been in the African American school system. I haven't lived there for an extended period of time. But what I can speak on is the Black British UK whatever mindset. And I believe it is a moderate mindset. So nothing should ever be extravagant. Everything needs to be moderate. Whether it's your dressing style, whether it's your opinions, whether it's your ideas, everything has to be in a certain range. Let's say 2 to 5. It shouldn't go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We don't want exceptional. We don't want average. And I believe it's a thing where I think being average to an extent is celebrated in the UK, but being extravagant or striving for more or being excess, quote unquote, personality wise, whether that's being loud, because people call Americans loud, but they're just very expressive. And I think those kind of things are awarded or rewarded in America while they are shunned in the UK. And I'm not sure where it started or how it started. Maybe it started from primary school. Maybe it started from high school. Who knows? All I know is I'm in a current position where even as myself as a person, usually when I'm going out to events or things like that, I genuinely feel the need to tone it down. Toning down, whether that's personality, how I feel. Everyone wants to kind of be calm, relaxed, no excitement, no passion, you know what I'm saying? You don't really see a lot of that. And I don't know what it is like. If I went to town, you know, town center and I was recording videos, you know what I'm saying? People are going to be looking at me weird. They're going to be like, "What's this guy doing? Who does he think he is?" But in America, you know what I'm saying? Someone might even hop your video and be like, "Yo, what's up, chat, da-da-da." And why is that? This is not an answer. I'm posing a question, something else to think about as people, especially if you live in the UK. If you've experienced it, let me know in the comments, because it just feels like everyone is just, that That's the best way I can describe it. I can't, it's hard to articulate this feeling into words where extra is bad, moderate is good. That's the best way I can explain it. But what do you guys think in the comments though?